What up, y'all? It's your boy at Mr. Nate Jackson, and this is my take. What we're doing is the three of us, Kev on stage, Jason Fredericks, and myself, are taking a news story and giving our takes on them. The other two are right here. Well, today, Jason was the one that chose the story that we were going to break down or give our take on. Leave it to him to pick one that is hella complicated and hella juicy. I don't know how funny I'm going to be able to make this, but I hope that it's thought-provoking. Basically, it's on Huffington Post, and it was an article by Ise Lyfe, who's a cat I know. He's like an ambassador of the Bay, like, you know, the unpronounced mayor. Like, he's an artist, producer, promoter, politician, activist. He does it all. And so he wrote this article on Huffington Post. I'm looking over here because I have my laptop over here with the story, because I don't have all this memorized and I want to read key points from it before I give my take. But the article is called "Kicking Black Boys Out of Class, Teaching Black Girls a Lesson." How can I put this? They're kicking too many black kids out of school, and there's a lot of statistics and analytics to support that. For instance, Oakland, California, 43% of the students that are kicked out of class are black, but the black students only represent 17% of the entire student body. So it's like a grossly disproportionate number, kind of similar to the numbers we see when we talk about African American males in prison. His spin that he puts on the story, aside from a lot of the statistics about the statistics of black and Mexican males being kicked out of school, goes further. He proposes, I'll read it. He says, "For a moment, let's put all the graphs and charts aside and look at that little black girl sitting in an elementary classroom. When she looks over her shoulder and she sees Dante, Jabari, Shaquille, or Jonte, who does she see? When she constantly sees them being kicked out of class, suspended, or yelled at, what does she think? When her teacher, who she regards as a source of knowledge and nurturing and a person for guidance, seems to have an attitude of contempt towards all the black boys, what does she learn from seeing them being removed?" He proposes, he goes on in the article to say that what they learn is that black boys are naturally monsters. They're untrustworthy, irresponsible, and have no self-control. That black men and boys are undesirable, unreliable, and most obviously, you should have low expectations for them. Now, I think that that is very profound for him to have that correlation, but as I thought about it a little deeper and went in, thought about it a little with more depth, I actually agree. So my take on this isn't going to be some different take than this. He supported it with statistics, and I believe now, I understand there's so many more aspects to this and so many other lanes that are to be considered when we talk about social injustices and the development of our youth. But honestly, let's really look at it. We're talking about a black girl who sees herself in her peers, whether it's another girl or another boy. Every time she's in school, she sees these black boys kicked out, whether it's for reason or it's not for reason. And furthermore, the black boy that gets kicked out a lot takes on that label. If the label is you're a troublemaker, then they end up saying, you know what, you say I'm a troublemaker, it's my job to make trouble. So they are living their label. And if that's the label they have, then what black girl in school is going to find that attractive when in trying to choose her mate or her peers? If this is her social environment and they're always ostracized and kicked out of it, that means they are not worthy of acceptance in your social world. Kids go to school, they go home, they go to school. And some kids go to school, do something in the community, go home, and then go to school. But if they're in school 6 to 8 hours a day, and then in the community a few hours before they go home, then if they don't have a strong black role model at home or a strong black role model in the community, then that's their example. God forbid they find other examples by turning on TV. I mean, like, look at BET. Now, granted, their programming has changed and they are showing black men in better light, but for a long time, it was just gold teeth, chains, everybody was stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not us. That's a caricature. If that is what they perceive of us, if that's the perception of a black man from 4th grade and even earlier, that we're always kicked out, we're dumber, we interrupt, we're not serious, we aren't worthy of being in the same social environment, then how do they perceive us for the rest of life? And the article is deep, y'all. Like, I want your guys' 2 cents on this. Feel free. I'm going to leave the article link in the description below. Go to it, read Ise Lyfe's article. He has some facts. He goes into it. He talks about the 3 things he thinks it affects the black woman's psyche on. He talks about the struggle to unlearn to unlearn these things. He talks about that they actually accept these things, and then because of that, they end up dating outside of their race. Now, I am not going to take this into an entire interracial relationship conversation. If you guys lead it that direction, that's on you, but I won't take it there. But I will expound this way and just ask, how do you think it affects black girls outside of the classroom in their development in these ways? Like, if the black guy is always getting kicked out, then does that make us worthy for them to be are interested in us in their love life? Like, how are they picking a mate? How does this affect them later in life with things like interracial relationships or choosing the father of their children? Does this lead them to something this simple and so early leave a stamp on them so profound that later in life they deem that they're better off raising their children on their own? Because there are alarming statistics about single black mothers. Is this where it starts? A lot of times, black women have higher statistics of getting jobs in the workforce. So if they are deemed us that we are unacceptable to even be in a classroom, then we don't have the same knowledge or traits or what it takes to be successful in the work environment. If she's the one that's hiring, how does that affect the the human resources of different companies where the black girl who is susceptible to this is in charge? And there's so many questions, so many. So my take on it is, yes, it is one of the sources of things. There's many more things, but I do think it is. I do think a lot of it can be combated by a strong home life and a strong community life. But, in the situations where they don't have that, you tell me. I guess that's my take. And we can continue this below. Peace.